aqua friends, welcome to my channel. My name's Nicole and today we are going to dive into this underwater jellyfish scene, and I am going to show you how I create light using a very interesting technique, and I don't see too many people using this, so I'm going to share with you how I get this wonderful light effect. So the first thing that we're going to do is wet our paper really well, starting with a light wash of blue. Make sure that your paper is well saturated. So I'm using some of my favorite watercolor blues for this scene. I'm starting with some long strokes from the bottom and keeping the top where I want the light to be fairly light and open. So some of the colors that I used are phthalo blue, yellow shade, and I also did use some liquid watercolor blue. Now once I'm happy with the amount of darkness I have for my blue, I'm going to come in with that stronger liquid watercolor. I've been using that a lot lately. I really like the vibrancy of the liquid watercolors. So I'm making sure that I have enough pigment on my paper, which it's quite saturated. Now comes the secret technique that I just absolutely love. So I have these little bottles that have a very fine tip to them, and you can put actual watercolors in there, liquid watercolors, to squirt on your paper. You could use masking fluid and use it like a writing instrument. I did get them on Amazon, and I will have the link in the description below. But basically I just fill this up with clean water, and you're going to forcefully squeeze the water on the paper like I just did there, so that it creates a pathway of light. And I'm tilting my board in the direction that I want that pathway to spread. It's very messy, but it's super fun. And you're going to keep doing that where you want the light to shine through. So I'm tilting my board with each stroke that I'm using the water in order to get the light. So now that I'm on the other side, I'm tilting it the other way. And of course, cleaning up the mess with each stroke that I do. And notice this is really bringing a lot of light into the scene in a natural way. I think it's much prettier than lifting the paint. And you're kind of using water to create its own pathway, and I think that's really neat. Instead of using a brush to do it myself, I don't think I could have got the different gradations of light that you're seeing right now. You're going to let that whole thing dry, and now comes the fun part with the jellyfish. And so I'm using this reference photo as inspiration, and I'm using some liquid watercolor white. This is Dr. P.H. Martin's watercolor white. And I'm just going to outline the shape of this jellyfish. And I do want that very translucent effect, and basically I'm just using the white to draw the jellyfish. There'll be certain areas that will be more opaque than others, and I'm just following that reference photo to draw in all the different segments that I'm seeing here. I'm using a round brush for this. This is a size 6. And I'm going to dry that first layer. So to get a darker white, I am using a jelly pen, a white jelly pen, as well as an acrylic pen. And the jelly pen, of course, has a thinner point. And so I could get some really nice details and some darker white areas. Switching over to my acrylic pen, in the areas that I need a thicker white is where I'm going to be using this acrylic pen. Now I'm adding the shadows, and so I'm using a Peruvian blue to get some of those darker areas of this jellyfish. And this is going to add shape to our jellyfish here. On the underside is where there's some darker shadows. But I am using it very sparingly. I want that really translucent effect of a jellyfish, and so I'm trying to do as little as possible in order to portray that it's a jellyfish, if you will. Now in the reference photo, this jellyfish doesn't have any tentacles, but you could definitely add those in if you'd like. So once I'm done with the blues, I'm again drying my paper. And just a little close up here. This is what I got so far. Once the paper is dry, I could come back in with my acrylic pen and finish off any highlights or any areas where I want to increase the opacity of the white. Once you guys are happy with the jellyfish, then you guys are done. You get to sign your painting. You just create a masterpiece. Congratulations. So that is it for this cute little small tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and give it a go. It is so much fun painting with water. Talk to you soon.